Hello, everybody. So, yeah, man, I'm just like super stoked. So, I finally got this my camera situated. I am so happy because I bought like a bunch of high-end cameras and they just weren't doing any good. So, what I did was I went out and bought some 4K equipment. I had some people help me with that. Now I got like 4K things. I don't know if the lighting's weird. It's still got like a little bit of green glow around me. I don't have that in Zoom, but I do have it here. So, anyway, I'm just really super stoked because I'm like, I got my class this weekend, man. Like, I got so much stuff going on in my life. That's so awesome, dude. And I just want to like have a huge shout out with like gratitude and everything that's going on in my life is just, man, life is good, dude. I'm finally putting my team, so we're putting the Dominators team back together again. Yeah, man. So I'm looking for people that want to dominate in life, dude. Next week I have at least one, maybe two or three coming to my next class, not this weekend, but the following weekend. We're going to build a couple new millionaires around trading and stuff, man. And it's just like, it's so cool when like you can bring more to the table than you take, you know what I mean? And work with a couple of NFL people, work with a couple of people in the movie industry, work with a couple of professional basketball players. Like, it's cool, like all the people that are around me that are in performance and, they've climbed the mountain. Some of them have tumbled down and some of them are climbed back up and some of them got to the top of the mountain and learned how to stay on top, right? And that usually doesn't happen. Climbing a mountain is like one of the most exciting things in life to do, is to build, grow, learn, evolve. And I'm just so happy that we have the opportunity to do that in our lives. And, I'm hoping that we have the opportunity to find and discover more people. So if you know someone that's outstanding or performing, we're paying somewhere between $1,000 and $10,000 for you to refer extraordinary people. One of the things I learned in 2023 is I work with extraordinary people. Like, they're either very smart, they perform, or they've performed many times in their life previously. And I work really well with those folks. And I'm looking for a couple new teammates on the Dominators. So we're going to dominate in a couple different sectors. And I'm really extraordinarily excited for the fact that this is going to be an amazing year, man. I just found out that, I can keep, if I want to keep my real estate and get 95% of the money out, maybe 110 of the money out of my properties, I could do that. That's like, wow, that's so cool. So I'm meeting somebody about that. So I may not even have to sell my real estate, but I'm going to be moving into a new direction. Some of you know what some of those are, but I'm moving in two different directions, and it's just absolutely stunning. Like, if you just put yourself out there, I got a development project I'm looking at. I have an old development project that's actually coming back in the possible play. And, it's just really cool when you have all these options, you have all these awesome people around you, and life is good. You know what I mean? Like, yesterday I got really caught up in the weeds for about 25, 30 minutes. I'm sitting there shoveling rock. I'm pissed off. And then I had to stop, and I'm like, God, am I blessed? I have so many freaking awesome people in my life, man. I have friends from like 25, 35 years ago that are in my life. I have, champions all around me, man. I'm a champion, and I have a brother who's a champion, father who's champion, family that's champions. Vice president was, one of my great grandfathers ago. My grandfather, both my grandfathers had different successes in different ways. My grandfather owned a couple shops, and my father worked his ass off, man. He struggled for a lot of years, and his hard work and grit paid off in many dividends, and it was tough growing up, man. But my father figured it out. I figured it out. My father assisted with a lot of that too. And what's really awesome is that you have all these different opportunities for growth in our lives if we're there, aware of it. And if we want to grow, we can. And many times, like in life, we have the opportunities to grow, to evolve, to discover anew, recreate. And just because we're stuck in a place or platitude or thought or belief system that we're stuck in or looping on, we can get out. Many times we need assistance from others, and that's why, like, I'm building this team, and you'll be, some very giants. I just had a beautiful phone call with two men who are going to be on our team. And I am so stoked. Some of the things that I'm doing and going to cause for the world. A lot of people don't realize some of my goals in the world and how I want to really perform in terms of how I want to make things occur for others. Like I've always been, I think the biggest compliment I've gotten in the last week is that, like, you're always trying to think of how to make the world a better place for everyone. And I just stopped, man. And, it just made me like realize who I am. I am the creator of creators. I am the infinite possibility of connection, growth with leaders and local people, and connecting things that don't necessarily automatically come to mind when connecting things. And that strategic nature about me is what makes me really awesome. Like, that's what I love about myself, is the connecting ability and ability to connect to others. That's kind of like what I got out of like today for me. And it's just been really, really a cool couple weeks. I've been impressed because I have like 11 days where I'm going to have 12, 13 days, almost 2 weeks, that I'm going to have like balls to walls, 12 to 15-hour days. And I just think back of the time when I was like 11 or 12, my dad was working all the way through, and I wanted to hang out with my dad. My dad was my hero. He always has been, and it's like, I want to hang out with my dad. And, it was really awesome because, like he was working his ass off. And like, so I had to go clean movie theaters, and we cleaned a bank, and we cleaned something else. I don't remember what it was. And by the time like 18 hours hit, man, I'm like, it's like lights out, homie. Like, I am so glad, Dad, that you're like working hard and stuff, but like I need this thing called sleep. It was like, I don't remember if it was 18 hours, but I don't remember. I mean, I wasn't even 11. I may have been 10 years old. But I just remember, my dad like working hard and like showing me how to work hard. And, he's like, he let me sleep, obviously. And then, I remember a couple of years later doing my first like 28-hour shift, you know what I mean? It was like, and I just want to hang out with my dad, and we wanted to clean and do things that we're doing and stuff. But it was just like really awesome that like my dad never really sat down and had a conversation with me about working hard. He kind of just showed me through implementing it, And so, we have the AI community that we're going to do as a family. And then we also have, the other thing we have is a couple people that are going to watch our journey this year. We're going to share our journey as we do it. Number one, so we can inspire you to do something, to implement something in your life, but also to, get you, if you want to be on our team, we're always looking for new team members, and so if you're curious about what that looks like or want to be part of the team, and we have a couple different projects that we're going to work on as a team. So one is like the AI agency, and then we also have a couple other very large projects, and then some development. So it depends on like really where you fit on the team. But we're looking for some team members. I've said a couple times about how like this year I'm only looking for hardworking team members and partners. And I meant that. I'm looking for partnerships. And it's funny. Sometimes people are like, they're so busy in their own weeds that they can't see the opportunity for them. And I gave a really good friend of mine, the opportunity. I got rejected twice by 2 team members. And I was like, oh, it's so sad, dude. Like, man, if he knew what we were working on, like, and I'm under NDA on both these things, so I can't really talk about them publicly yet until they're complete. But, one of the things we're working on is like, it's awesome, man. Like, we're going to change people's lives. And it's like going to be several hundreds of people, like 700 or 800 people's lives are going to be dynamically changed because of what our team and our people are doing for them, right? And that's what's really important, man. For me to be involved in anything, like, I mean, I think the biggest thing that I want is for me to say, what is it that I can build and build out with others? I've built a lot of things that haven't worked, and I've built a lot of things that have worked phenomenally, and the most beautiful thing about being a human being is the fact that I can get up, get out, and go do it again. That is the most beautiful thing about being a human being, and I don't know how to do this. Looks like somebody asked me a question or what. If I can view this, continue to Facebook. I know somebody asked me a question or not, but all right, never mind, they didn't. So, the best thing is, though, is for Just checking in. Let's touch base tomorrow. Okay, great. So, I think the best thing about growth and people and connection, even though people can be frustrating sometimes, and I get it too. So you're not just the only one who thinks that people can be frustrating sometimes. But I think it's important to always remember too that you can be frustrating. And how can we just avoid the weeds and get it back into performance? Because that's what it's all about. To have growth, to have things that be built, to have things be built upon, to have a greater legacy, to have our kids be at least as good as they possibly humanly can be. I had this gross conversation with somebody about how they made their kids be able to not have the same character defects they had. And it just ran through me, man. It was about self-esteem. I had no self-esteem, but my kids had it. It was oh, that's so gross. And how many times that I wasn't willing to fix myself, and I just try to fix myself through my kids, man. It's but it's true. So many times we want to fix things outside ourselves, trying to fix, and we come from a point of power, the impact that we have when we fix our insides. We have this dynamic, amazing power on the outside. And if we're giving souls and giving human beings like me and many people I'm friends with are, then we have this amazing impact because now we're whole and we're out in the world causing it to be whole too. And that's what's really important to me today, is being whole, growth, performance, evolution, growing stronger. I'm complete. I just want to share that with everybody. And I am. I'm still looking for my team members, and we look forward to making this not only a possibility, but a creation. And I'm looking forward to creating with those on my team.